Good morning, students. From your CBSE prescribed first flight textbook, we are doing chapter number 7 Glimpses of India. The chapter Glimpses of India consists of three parts. Tea from Assam by Arup Kumar Datta. Arup Kumar Datta is an Indian writer and journalist based out of Guwahati in Assam. He has written 16 books for adults and 17 adventure novels for young people. In 2014, he was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Honor by Association of Writers and Illustrators for Children. He has been awarded the Civilian Award Padma Shri by Government of India in 2018. His published works, The Adventure Stories and The Brahmaputra, have been translated into many foreign languages. In Tea from Assam, Arup Kumar Datta describes how popular tea has become as a beverage in the world. Pranjal, a youngster from Assam, is Rajveer's classmate at school in Delhi. Pranjal's father is the manager of a tea garden in Upper Assam, and Pranjal has invited Rajveer to visit his home during the summer vacations. So the story starts that Rajveer and Pranjal are traveling to Assam by train, and Pranjal has invited Rajveer to visit his home during the summer vacations. Chai garam, garam chai, a vendor called out in a high pitched voice. So, this is a usual scene. At every platform of railway station, you can hear vendors saying chai garam, garam chai. So he's selling this chai, he's selling this tea. He came up to the window and asked, Chai sab. So this vendor comes to the train window, and we need to understand that Pranjal and Rajveer are sitting at a window seat, and the vendor questions them, Chai sab. Give us 2 cups, Pranjal said. So he asked for 2, as everyone in the compartment was having, so he also asked for 2 cups. They sipped the steaming hot liquid. Almost everyone in the compartment was drinking tea also. So everyone in the compartment was sipping this hot tea, steaming hot liquid. That is, this was freshly made tea, and they were sipping that tea. Do you know that over 80 crore cups of tea are drunk every day throughout the world, Rajveer said. So Rajveer informs Pranjal that in a day, throughout the world, in a day, 80 crore cups of tea are drunk. So it's a huge number, that how people are passionate about tea, about drinking tea. Explained Pranjal. Their tea really is very popular. So Pranjal expresses a surprise knowing about this fact that tea is so much popular all over the world. The train pulled out of the station. Pranjal buried his nose in his detective book again. Rajveer too was an ardent fan of detective stories, but at the moment he was keener on looking at the beautiful scenery. So both Pranjal and Rajveer, we have been told, are passionate about reading detective novels and detective stories. So this train started from the station, and Pranjal, he occupied himself into reading the detective novel, and he focused his attention on detective book. But then Rajveer, he was also a very keen follower of detective stories, but then he was interested in looking at the beautiful scene from the train window. It was green everywhere. Rajveer had never seen so much greenery before. Then the soft green paddy fields gave way to tea bushes. So Rajveer was experiencing the beauty of Assam, or the beauty of this place, and he had never seen this tea plantations ever. So it was a beautiful sight for him, that it was green all around. So he was enjoying the beauty outside the train window, and there were green paddy fields gave way to tea bushes. So first it was the green paddy fields, and then the train headed picked up speed, and then the tea bushes, tea estates and plantations started. It was a magnificent view against the backdrop of densely wooded hills of sea of tea bushes stretched as far as I could see. So Rajveer, who was sitting on a window seat in the train, he was enjoying this panoramic view outside, and he sees that behind this tea plantations, tea bushes, there was the backdrop, and this backdrop was of the hills, and they were densely wooded. It was dense forest or dense trees were there, and we have been told that as far as his eyes could stretch, as eyes could see, it was a whole lot of sea of tea bushes. So we have been given a graphic description of the sea of tea bushes stretching as far as eyes can go in Assam. Dwarfing the tiny tea plants was tall, sturdy shade trees, and amidst the orderly rows of bushes busily moved doll-like figures. So we have been told that small tea bushes were stretched everywhere, all around, as Rajveer could see from his eyes. And then he noticed that amongst these tea bushes there were tall, strong, shady trees also, and there were rows of tea bushes, and there were doll-like figures busily moved. Doll-like figures means these are a group of tea pluckers. They are busy. They are busy in what? They are busy in plucking the newly sprouted leaves. In the distance was an ugly building with smoke billowing out of tall chimneys. So Rajveer, who is looking at this panoramic view from the train itself, he notices what? That other than the densely wooded hills, the backdrop of densely wooded hills and the tall, strong, shady trees in the midst of the tea bushes and the people plucking the tea leaves, there was at the distance an ugly building, and the smoke, a mass of smoke, was emitting out of tall chimneys. Hey, a tea garden, Rajveer cried excitedly. Pranjal, who had been born and brought up on a plantation, didn't share Rajveer's excitement. Now, Rajveer was viewing a tea plantation for the first time, and he was really excited. But then Pranjal was born and brought up in Assam, and he had seen many tea plantations and estates, so he was not that much involved and that excited. Oh, this is a tea country now, he said. Assam has the largest concentration of plantations in the world. You will see enough gardens to last you a lifetime. So Pranjal says to Rajveer that it's just the beginning. The train has just started, and you are going to see many tea estates, tea plantations, and moreover, Assam is known as a tea country, and Assam has the largest concentration of plantation in the world. I have been reading as much as I could about tea, Rajveer said. No one really knows who discovered tea, but there are many legends. So Rajveer informs that I was into reading about tea and its discovery, but then who actually discovered is not known. But then many stories are related from the past. What legends? Now Pranjal wanted to know what sort of stories you have heard. Well, there's the one about the Chinese emperor who always boiled water before drinking it. One day, a few leaves of the twigs burning under the pot fell into the water, giving it a delicious flavor. It is said they were tea leaves. So, the legend goes that this is a Chinese legend, and it says that one day there was this Chinese emperor who was into drinking boiled water. So one day the water was boiling, and a few tea leaves accidentally fell into that boiling water, and when the emperor tasted it, he might have liked it because it was a delicious flavor. And this is how tea started, tea making of tea started. It is said that they were tea leaves. Tell me another, scoffed Pranjal. So Pranjal is into making fun, and he says, tell me another story. We have an Indian legend too, Bodhidharma, an ancient Buddhist ascetic, cut off his eyelids because he fell sleepy during meditations. 10 tea plants grew out of the eyelids. The leaves of these plants, when put in hot water and drunk, banished sleep. So the other is an Indian legend, and it says that the Buddhist monk was there, and because when he was doing his meditation, he was getting irritated, and he was not able to concentrate on his meditation because of his eyelids. So, and because he's an ascetic means one who is self-disciplined, one who does not allow himself to have physical pleasures or any sort of thing. So he was getting disturbed during his meditation, so he cut his eyelids. Now when he cut his eyelids, he might have thrown it somewhere, and then the legend goes that out of those eyelids 10 tea plants grew out, and the leaves of these plants, when put in hot water and drunk, drove away sleep. So it banished sleep. One can get rid of sleep. So you know how during examinations also you students do what, that when you are feeling sleepy you wish to have a cup of tea. So this is the legend, the Indian legend. Tea was first drunk in China, Rajveer added, as far back as 2700 BC. In fact, words such as tea, chai, and chini come from Chinese. Tea came to Europe only in the 16th century and was drunk more as medicine than as beverage. So we have been told that how tea was first drunk in China, and the words like chai and chini, the origin words, these are the Chinese origin. And then we have been told that that from China it spread to Europe and the 16th century, and then to Asia. And earlier tea was drunk as a medicine and then as a beverage. The train clattered into Mirani Junction. The boys collected their luggage and pushed their way to the crowded platform. So the train clattered to Mirani Junction. Then Mirani Junction came. Both the boys, Pranjal and Rajveer, they took their luggage, and then they have to make their way through this crowd of people who were getting down or boarding the train, and they come to the platform. Pranjal's parents were waiting for them, so the parents were there to welcome them. Soon they were driving towards Dekyabari, the tea garden managed by Pranjal's father. So the Pranjal's father took the boys to Dekyabari, and this is the place where Pranjal's father worked. An hour later, the car veered sharply off the main road. They crossed a cattle bridge and entered Dekyabari tea estate. So after an hour, the car changed direction and headed to the main road, and then they crossed a cattle bridge and they entered the tea estates of Dekyabari. Now what is cattle bridge? Cattle bridge means a bridge over a ditch consisting of parallel metal bars that allow pedestrians and vehicles to pass, but not cattles. On both sides of the gravel road were acres upon acre of tea bushes, all neatly pruned to the same height. So both sides of the road there were huge tea plantation, acres and acres of land, there were tea plantations, and these tea bushes that were there, they were neatly cut, and those bushes were neatly cut for a better shape and size, and they were of the same height. Groups of tea pluckers with bamboo baskets on their backs, wearing plastic aprons, were plucking the newly sprouted leaves. So the people were working over there. Group of tea pluckers were there. They were having the bamboo baskets on their backs, they were wearing the plastic aprons, and they were plucking the newly sprouted leaves. So everywhere this could be seen, from acres and acres of this tea bushes or tea garden, these people were working. Pranjal's father slowed down to allow a tractor pulling a trailer load of tea leaves to pass. So Pranjal's father had to drop the speed of his vehicle so that that tractor could pass, and this tractor had a trailer load of tea leaves. This is the second flush or sprouting period, isn't it, Mr. Barua? Rajveer asked. It lasts from May to July and yields the best tea. So now Rajveer asks Pranjal's father, Mr. Barua, that this is the period of sprouting period or a second flush. Now, what is second flush? Second flush means from early summer throughout the monsoon is the time for second flush. These leaves absorb maximum rainwater and mature throughout the monsoon. So as a result, they produce rich color and flavor when brewed. So we have been told that the best period of time, that is the best tea, is obtained during the period of May to July. You seem to have done your homework before coming, Pranjal's father said in surprise. So, Pranjal's father was very much surprised with the knowledge that Rajveer was having, whether it is the knowledge of the legends associated with it or his knowledge about the tea leaves and the best period for plucking of the tea leaves. So, he was surprised that you have done your homework before you come for your vacations over here. Yes, Mr. Barua, Rajveer admitted, but I hope to learn much more while I'm here. So, Rajveer said, yes, I did read much about teas, and then he says, I would utilize my vacations in learning more about tea.